Let me ask you a quick question. What phase of business ownership are you in? Now, the answer to that is going to determine 100% of where your focus needs to be on a daily basis. Now, for purposes of this video, I've narrowed them down to just 3 phases, okay? We can argue all day long that there's more phases, but for this video, I'm just going to knock it down to the 3 main ones. Number 1, you're in the growth phase. Now, what is the growth phase? Well, you might be just starting out in the business. You've got more bays than you have customers to fill those bays, so you want to fill up the shop that you already have. Maybe you have bigger goals in mind of opening additional shops down the road, okay? If that's you, you're in the growth phase. So you're going to be focusing on things that are going to help grow the shop. The next phase is the maturity phase, okay? This is where you've been in the business for a little while and you're kind of content. Things are going good. Yeah, it's not without its problems, but you feel like you've got enough business coming in, and really what you want to do is you want to kind of ride this thing out until it's time to get out of the business. So you're in that maturity phase, or we can also call it that maintenance phase. You're just going to keep the doors open. You're going to keep going as it is, but you're not necessarily interested in growing the business anymore. And then finally, we get into the exit phase. Okay, what is the exit phase? Well, just like it sounds, you're going to exit from the business. So you might be planning on selling the shop in the next few years and maybe retiring or moving on to your next business venture or the next phase of your life. Okay, if that's you, you know who you are right now. So let's dive into a few of the things that you want to be focusing on depending on the kind of phase that you're in. Now, I realize that everything I'm going to be talking about, where your focus goes, applies to all the different phases, but there's a dominant thing you need to be paying attention to depending on the phase that you're in, and that'll become a little bit more self-explanatory as we go through this. Okay, so the growth phase, your primary focus is on building the business, right? So you're in a building phase. So in order to build, you need customers, right? So here's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're focusing on good marketing. We're focusing on good advertising that has a constant, predictable stream of new business coming in the door every single day. So you got to be focusing on your car count, and you got to be focusing on referrals, customer retention. So you want to keep the customers that are coming in the door so you don't have to go chase after more and more and more. But as you're growing, you need more customers coming in, and you need more of those customers coming back to you. You also need to be developing your team. As your business grows, you're going to need more technicians, right? More business equals more work happening in the back. Maybe you might be the person in front selling service, and maybe it's time, as you build the business, that it's time to hire a service advisor. Again, you're growing the business, so you have to have a good supply of good quality employees. Okay, employees come and go, so you're going to be constantly on that search to replace them and have some in the bullpen, so when some go bad, you can grab the reliever and get them back out. Okay, so you have to be constantly searching for good people. And then you also need to be focusing on ways to increase your efficiency. Look, especially if you've got those few extra bays in the shop that you're trying to fill, you want to make sure that you're filling them up and you're maximizing the time and the space that you have. And I always say, before you go on to that next location, and many of you guys might be looking at having additional locations, you should maximize the one shop before you get to the next one. Okay, so that's the growth phase. And I'm going to guess that's probably going to be 50% of the people that are watching it right now. They're still growing their business. Now, the next half are people that are in the maturity phase or in the exit phase. So, and for some people, they may seem like it's the same thing, but it's really not. So let me explain. So maturity phase, remember, you're like riding it out. Okay, you're going to ride this out until it's time to retire, but you don't have plans, immediate plans, or at least within the next few years to retire. So what you want to do is go into maintenance mode. You don't want to lose business. You're not necessarily interested in growing the business, but you still want to have the business thriving while you're there. So Rather than constantly going out and trying to find more and more and more new customers, when it comes to your marketing and advertising, you need to be focusing on customer retention. In other words, having the good customers you already have in your shop, have them come back again and again and again. So your focus is not external marketing, it's more internal marketing. And along with that comes with your customer service. So you have excellent customer service, you already have excellent customers. Now all your marketing is designed to get those people back in the door, and then the business will grow, or at least replace the people that die and move away organically, just through the referrals, from because you have a really good solid customer base, and that will keep your maintenance mode up on your car count. You also need to be focusing on gaining a little bit more freedom from the shop. So as you're growing the business, you're putting a lot of blood, sweat, and tears and time into the business, and you're wearing a lot of hats. Well, in the maturity phase, you want to start getting rid of some of those hats. You want to start looking at those systems so that every morning you don't go and unlock the door and you're reinventing the wheel over and over and over again. Okay? Systems are going to be able to set you free. And look, when you're in the maturity phase, you don't want to be putting in 60, 70, 80 hours a week. You should be more in the 40-hour work week, just a normal work week, and also being able to take some vacations. Okay? And the only way you're going to be able to take those vacations is to have things working like a well-oiled machine that doesn't require you to be there all the time. So you're going to start focusing more in that. And now we come to the final phase, which is your exit phase. Now, the average shop owner is in the 60s right now. I'm going to say this is probably a good chunk of people that are watching this video. So let me tell you how it varies different from the maturity phase. Okay. As you're in a maturity phase, you're just in maintenance mode. But if you're thinking about selling your shop within the next 2 years, you cannot be in maintenance mode anymore. Instead of winding down, what you need to be focusing on is actually ramping back up. Okay, you want to show growth. You want to show promise to the next person that wants to buy your business, right? They're buying the blue sky. They're buying where the business is going. And if the business is stagnant, it's going to be less exciting to them. So the decisions you're making are basically focused on what your buyer is going to be looking for. So since they're not looking for another 9-to-5 job, you need to be focused on getting yourself the heck out of the business, having those systems, not so you can get to a 40-hour work week, so that you can get to a 5-hour work week. Okay, that requires a better team, better training, and basically a better run business, because a business that practically runs itself is going to be very attractive to your next buyers. Also, the other thing we got to be looking at is stabilizing your staff. Okay, so becoming a better leader and leading your team and developing better people on your team is going to be exciting to the next person coming in, because they may not know anything about the auto repair business, so they're going to rely on the team that's left over after you exit the business. And finally, understand the big thing is when you sell that business, again, you've owned this business for a very long time and you've poured a lot of your heart and soul into the business. You deserve to be rewarded as you exit the business. And that reward comes in the multiple of your profitability. Okay, so when somebody's buying your shop, aside from the real estate part of it, the price they're paying is going to depend on what you're actually able to get out of the business as far as profits go. So that's why I'm saying you want to be ramping up, not winding down as you're selling your business. You want to crank up those profits. You want to be making more money in the last 2 years of that business ownership, because that is going to multiply back to you when the person cuts you a check and you exit the business. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you're in the exit phase, we have a Facebook group that's designed to help you get that information you need if you're going to be exiting your shop. So if you're going to be doing it anytime within the next 5 years, let's say, I'm going to drop a link down below this video here where you can join that Facebook group and join in on the discussion and the blog posts and the videos that we're going to be putting in there that are going to help you exit the business. Again, if you're exiting within the next 5 years, but certainly within the next 2 years, you got to roll up the sleeves and you got to really start rocking and rolling. Okay, so hopefully this helps. Hopefully you got some really good value out of it. I'll see you in the next video. Wait. Before you go, please do me a ginormous favor. Go down below the video, respond to it, make a comment, like the video, share it with another shop owner you think you can get some great value from it, and then I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everybody.